Welcome all of you in this tutorial of T-distributed stochastics neighborhood embedding, that is TSNE. In this tutorial we are going to see the deep explanation of TSNE. So let's see why we need TSNE. When we come to dimensional reduction, one of the most famous algorithm, that is PCA, is used. PCA is fast, simple to use. Basically PCA creates low dimensional embeddings that best preserve the overall variance. But PCA have two main drawbacks. PCA is a linear algorithm which will not able to capture non-linear dependencies between all the variables, that is nothing but features. A major problem with linear dimensionality reduction algorithm is that they concentrate on placing dissimilar data points far apart from each other, but does not concentrate on similar data points that must be close to each other. So that's why we have to go for non-linear dimensionality reduction methods like TSNE. So let's see TSNE. TSNE try to capture local relationship between the data points, as well as it try to preserve nonlinear structure, try to capture nonlinear structure. It tackle the problem of curse of dimensionality, also tackle the problem of crowding problem. It also uses Gaussian probability distribution as well as T distribution. So TSNE is a very popular method. It is proposed by Hunter Matten and Geoffrey Hinton. So let's see the procedure of TSNE. First of all, we are going to see what is SNE, that is nothing but stochastic neighborhood embedding. TSNE is nothing but just improvement in the SNE, just putting the T distribution in the low dimension. So first of all, we are going to see SNE. This is the high dimensional dataset, this is the low dimensional dataset, and this is the points that we these are the xi be the point in the high dimension and similar data point in the low dimension yi. So we have to calculate the similarity probability for each data point in the high dimension as well as in the low dimension. This is the required formula for obtaining the similarity probability of each data point in the high dimension, and this is the required formula for obtaining the similarity probability of each data point in the low dimension. Stochastics neighbor embedding start by converting high dimensional Euclidean distances between the data points into a conditional probabilities. That is nothing but these distances are calculated to obtain the similarity probability like this, and the similarity of the data points xi to the data point xj, that is nothing but this, is the conditional probability of pj given I like this. The similarity probability between these two data points will be calculated like this: pj given I, xi be the this data point, xj be the this data point. Xi would pick xj as its neighbor. Neighbor is picked in the proportion of their probability density under the Gaussian center. Here xi will be the Gaussian center, and number of neighbors surrounding to it, it's nothing but its Gaussian cluster. Okay, similar method, similar procedure we apply in low dimension also. Also we obtain the similarity probability of same data point in the low dimension. Now we are going to see the how we calculate similarity probability in the low dimension and high dimension using the some distribution curve, that is nothing but normal distribution curve. Here we can see this is the normal distribution curve, this is our data set. So let's see how probability will be calculated. First of all, we obtain the Euclidean distance from the each data point from particular that Gaussian cluster center. Let's see, this is the Gaussian center, and we try to map it on this line, that is nothing but this one dimension line, and again we put a normal distribution curve on that line and try to map it on that normal distribution curve. We can see when we map it on normal distribution curve, the blue data point having probability 0.24, that is nothing but the curve having probability 1, the area under the curve should be 1. Now how we calculate similarity score for that blue data point? That is nothing but score divided by sum of all scores. That is nothing but sum of all its neighborhood data points, that is nothing but these data points. First of all, we calculate the similarity probability for the middle blue data point. For that, the probability for the middle data point is 0.24, and this blue data point is 0.05. That is we calculate like this: 0.24 upon 0.24 plus 0.05. Again 0.0, how we calculate similarity probability for this another blue data point? 0.05 upon addition of this 2, like this we calculate similarity probability like this using the Gaussian curve. So again, when we change the shape of Gaussian curve, then we again calculate the similarity probability. We can see that the both are look like same. But why we change the shape of the curve? Because of the extreme data points having crowding problem in the having in the extreme data points. When the data points are crowded here, that it does not capture the preserve the distances between the local data points. That's why we tackle the crowding problem of the data points at this extreme region. We use high tailed curve, that is nothing but T distribution curve in TSNE. So let's see, when we obtain the similarity probability in low dimension as well as in high dimension, when the similarity probabilities are not same, logically the conditional probability Pj given I and Qj given I must be equal for a perfect presentation of similarity of the data points in different dimension spaces. That is, the difference between Pj given I and Qj given I must be 0. That is nothing but Pj given I, that is nothing but probability of that particular data point in high dimension, and similarity probability of that same data point in the low dimension must be same. If both the similarity probability are different, then we have to go for some gradient function. Here we use Kullback-Leibler divergence as a gradient function. Here this is the formula for Kullback-Leibler divergence. It is nothing but a cost function. Here we can treat this cost function as a loss function also. So large cost is for representing nearby data points in the high dimensional map by widely separated data point in the low dimensional. High cost is required for representing nearby data points in the high dimension, which are actually represented at widely separated data point in the low dimension, and smaller cost representing widely separated data points in the high dimension, which are mapped nearby data points in the low dimension. That's why to tackle this problem of preserving distances, we have to go for this cost function. Let's say example, when our high dimension, when we have two data points in the high dimension and the distance between similarity score between these two data points will be 0.5, or the distance between these two data points is 0.5, but in the low dimension space its distance will be 0.7. That's why there will be error of 0.2. So how to tackle this error? For that error we are going to see this Kullback-Leibler divergence. That is nothing but when the data point is diverged in the low dimension, does not preserve the distance as much as possible. That's why we have to go for this cost function. So let's see, actually TSNE is nothing but a iterative process. That's why each iteration the cost function will be applied and the distances are minimized. That is nothing but try to preserve in distances of the high dimensional space. The distances in between data points in the high dimensional space is preserved in the low dimension space. If it does not preserve, we apply cost function and try to preserve it. At each iteration we get new solution. This iteration we are going to iterate this method till we tried our distances will be preserved. So this is the formula for obtaining the solution at each iteration. This is the solution at each iteration. This is nothing but cost function, and this is the learning rate. So this is the formula for cost function, and this is the formula for solution at each iteration. So why we have to go for TSNE? Because of SNE have two main drawbacks. That is nothing but stochastic neighborhood embedding have two drawbacks. Cost function is difficult to optimize and crowding problem. And TSNE tried to tackle these two problems by applying two advantages, like cost function is summarized version of SNE. It tried to use the cost function which is summarized version of SNE, and it applied a distribution curve in the low dimension. Stochastic neighborhood embedding SNE apply normal distribution curve in the both high and low dimension, but in TSNE we apply normal distribution curve in the high dimension and T distribution curve in the low dimension for tackle the problem of crowding problem. That is nothing but this problem. When the more data points are crowded here, then there will be a crowding problem. The distances does not capture well. That's why we are going to tackle this problem by applying the T distribution curve in the low dimension. We can see here, this is the red curve is nothing but T distribution curve. This black curve is a normal distribution curve. The black curve is used in high dimension, and T distribution curve, that is nothing but this red curve, is used in the low dimension. Again we can see again the procedure. The distances between each data point is calculated, and it is mapped on the curve and try to obtain the probability. By using that probability, we are going to obtain the similarity score. Similarity score is nothing but the score of particular data point divided by total score of the neighborhood of that particular data points. So we can see like this. Each data point is mapped on this T distribution to tackle the crowding problem. Here we can see there is no crowding, but when we apply normal distribution curve, then we can see here there will be crowding. But in T distribution curve there will be no crowding. That's why we use it in low dimensional space in TSNE. In TSNE we use symmetric SNE. That is nothing but we does not use similarity score of like conditional probability. But if we use the joint probability of the conditional probabilities, that is nothing but, let's see, I data point and the Z data point. Let's see, this is the probability of Pj given I, that is nothing but probability of Pj given I plus probability of I given J. So these are when there is a problem, that is nothing but these two probability must be same, because this probability are obtained in between two same data points, but Pj given I and Pi given Z does not same. That's why we try to obtain the overall, that is nothing but average of that. That is joint probability of that two conditional probabilities. We use it in high dimension as well as low dimension in TSNE. We obtain the joint distribution probability of that conditional probabilities in the high dimension, and again we calculate Qij in the lower dimension also. When there is difference between Pij and Qij, Pij is not equals to Qij, then we are going to for gradient function, that is nothing but KL divergence function. Here we can see this is the formula for KL divergence function in TSNE, and we apply like this. After we obtain the new Pij and Qij, which must be same. When we apply KL divergence, after that applying the KL divergence, we get this. This is the required formula for Pij and Qij. It should be same. When it is not same, then we apply KL divergence and try to preserving the distance and try to become it same. So how it gradient function apply to the each data point? Gradient function try to obtain the or try to preserving the distance between the two data points. When these two data points are nearby to each other in the high dimension, but it is widely separated in the low dimension, then gradient function try to minimize the distance between them, try to make it nearby to each other like this. It apply a positive gradient forces in between these and try to minimize the distance. The positive gradient forces applied in between the similar data points, and negative gradient forces are applied in between dissimilar data points. Here we can see this red data points and this another three red data points are attracted towards each other because they are similar, and the another data points which are not similar to these red data points are repelled from each other. That's why similar data points are attracted towards each other. That's why they are become a cluster of that same similar data points, and dissimilar data points are repelled from each other. That's why there will be, we can see the clustering is well in the TSNE. The cluster of similar data points become in the low dimension. So that's why TSNE is also used for clustering also. So let's see the similarity probability, how it look like in the low dimension as well as high dimension. Here we can see this is our similarity probability visualization. That is nothing but we can see the blue data points having similarity score high. That is nothing but red squares are nothing but high similarity. It is blue data points having high similarity. This red data points having high similarity here. This orange data point having high similarity here, and these another squares having low similarity, because which are printed as violet color. So we can see here when we apply norm distribution in the high dimension, our similarity probability is look like this. But when we apply normal distribution in the low dimension, our similarity probability will be look like this. It does not preserve the local distances. That why our similarity probability is not look like our similarity probability in the high dimension. So this is the disadvantage of stochastic neighborhood embedding. That's why we apply T distribution in the low dimension, try to tackle this problem. When we apply T distribution in the low dimension, this is the similarity probability of the data points in the high dimension, and we, by using normal distribution curve, and this is the similarity probability of the data points in the low dimension by using T distribution curve. When we use normal distribution curve in the high dimension and T distribution curve in the low dimension to obtain the similarity probability, and then there will be distance are preserved quite well than that of normal distribution curve. Here we can see the distances are not preserved when we apply normal distribution curve in the low dimension. This is the representation of similarity matrix in the high dimension as well as low dimension. In the TSNE, there is one of the major factor, that is nothing but perplexity. Perplexity is nothing but it is a value has the parameter, in the sense it is a number of neighbors to each data point. That is nothing but in over the TSNE is fairly robust to changes in the perplexity. Perplexity is nothing but how much number of neighbors are surrounded to each data point. When we by default in TSNE algorithm, it is set it between 5 to 50. So let's see, when we change the perplexity, that is nothing but number of neighbors to each data point, then how our visualization of our data changes. So we can see here we can see our perplexity is 17. Another parameter is nothing but iteration. In this graphs we can see our iteration will be constant, but our perplexity changes. When our perplexity is 17, then our data is look like this. When our perplexity is 28, our data is look like this. Our perplexity is 30, then our data is like this. And when our perplexity is 33, then our data is like this. We can see there is change in the position of the data points when we increase the perplexity. So we have to give a particular number, particular perfect number, which gives us a better accuracy. So we have to give a particular specified number to perplexity, so we get our model accuracy as good as possible. So when we change iteration and try to keep the perplexity constant, here we can see our perplexity is 28, and try to make the change in the iteration. So we can see the data, when our iteration is 1000, then our data set look like this. Visualization of our data set is look like this. When our perplexity is constant and iteration is 2000, then our data set look like this. This is visualization is after when we apply TSNE on a particular data set. These graph are plotted by using Python software. When our data set perplexity is 28 and our iteration increased by again 1000, here we have 3000 iteration, then our data set look like this. When we have 5000 iteration, then our data set look like this. You can see the position of the each data point changes when we change the iteration as well as perplexity. So we have to should give perfect number to these two parameters, that is nothing but iteration and perplexity, to get our output as good as possible. So when we let's see 3D visualization of our PCA and TSNE. When we apply PCA on a particular dataset and try to visualize is after applying the PCA, then our dataset look like this. And when we apply TCA on same dataset after running the model of TSNE, then our visualization of dataset look like this. You can see the clustering of the dataset. Here we can see there is a clustering of dataset. Yellow data points are segregated from the blue data points, but in PCA the most of the blue data points are overlap on the yellow data points. That's why there is not proper segregation in between yellow data points and blue data points. That's why for clustering and try to preserving or capture the nonlinear dependencies and try to capture locus structure of the dataset, we have to use TSNE. For that, when our dataset is actually a nonlinear, does not there is complexity in the dataset, then I suggest that you use TSNE behalf of PCA, because PCA is a linear algorithm and try to preserve the does not try to preserve the locus structure of the dataset. It try to preserve the overall variance of the dataset. So for better accuracy, we have to go for TSNE. But in some situation, PCA must be good for our dataset. but when our data set is very much complex, then we have to go for TSNE. So this is the required procedure of the TSNE. In the next tutorial, we are going to see how to implement it in TSNE in Python and how it will be visualized. So thank you all of you. Please hit the bell icon for get the notification of my new videos. So thank you all of you.